The 10 biggest and most absurd sleeper cabs ever built. You have to see this. Most people think a sleeper cab is just a bed behind the driver's seat, a place to rest for a few hours before the next stretch of road. But at some point, that idea wasn't enough. Drivers began living on the highway for weeks at a time, and a few builders asked a bold question. What if a truck didn't just haul freight, but carried an entire life? What followed were sleeper cabs so big, so extreme, and so overbuilt, they stopped feeling like trucks and started feeling like rolling apartments. Today, we're counting down the 10 biggest and most absurd sleeper cabs ever built. And the final one will make you ask, why does this even exist? Ranked 10th, Volvo VNL780 Extended Sleeper. Most sleeper cabs exist for one reason, to give drivers just enough rest to survive the next stretch of highway. The Volvo VNL780 was built for something very different. This wasn't a wild custom project. It wasn't designed to shock anyone, and that's exactly why it mattered. When the VNL780 first appeared, it introduced an idea that quietly changed long-haul trucking forever. The idea that a sleeper cab could feel like a real living space, not just a place to collapse. From the outside, the truck looks clean, aerodynamic, almost restrained. But step inside the extended sleeper, and the difference becomes obvious immediately. The roofline rises high enough for drivers to stand upright. Natural light fills the cabin. The floor plan opens up in a way older sleepers never could. Instead of squeezing everything into one tight corner, Volvo rethought how space should flow on the road. Under the hood, the VNL780 runs Volvo's D13 inline-six diesel engine, producing around 500 horsepower and over 1,850 pound-feet of torque. Paired with Volvo's automated I-shift transmission and a 6x4 drivetrain, it delivers smooth, predictable power. Exactly what long-haul drivers need day after day. But performance wasn't the headline here. Comfort was. Inside the sleeper, drivers get a full-length bed, dedicated storage, a built-in fridge, microwave, climate control, and carefully designed cabinetry that makes the space feel open instead of cluttered. No excess, no absurd luxury, just smart design that respects how people actually live on the road. And that's what made the VNL780 so important. It didn't try to become a rolling mansion. It didn't blur the line between truck and RV. Instead, it set the baseline. The moment when the industry realized that life on the highway didn't have to feel temporary. For many drivers, this truck was the first time a sleeper cab felt like a home, not a compromise. And once that door was opened, others didn't just walk through it. They blew it wide open. Because if this was the new starting point for comfort, what happened when builders stopped holding back? And trust me, the next sleeper on this list takes everything the Volvo VNL780 started and pushes it much further. Ranked 9th, International LoneStar Condo Sleeper. This isn't just a long-nosed American truck. It's a statement about comfort, identity, and what life on the road can really feel like. From the first glance, the LoneStar stands out with its bold grille, stretched hood, and classic proportions that feel timeless. But the real surprise begins behind the driver's seat. Under the hood, the LoneStar is powered by a Cummins X15 inline-six diesel, producing up to 565 horsepower and massive torque, built for serious long-haul work. Paired with a 6x4 drivetrain and either an automated or manual transmission, it delivers smooth, confident performance across thousands of highway miles. Step into the condo sleeper and the atmosphere changes completely. This isn't a tight bunk space. It's a living area designed to feel calm and familiar. The sleeper is wider and taller than traditional designs, featuring a full-size bed, generous cabinetry, built-in storage, and dedicated climate control. The layout feels intentional, almost like a small lounge, giving drivers space to sit upright, move around, and truly relax after long days on the road. Everything here is built around consistency, the same comfort every night, the same space no matter what state you're parked in. Outside, the LoneStar's long hood and unmistakable silhouette draw attention at every truck stop, while inside it quietly delivers what matters most to long-haul drivers. This truck doesn't try to be absurd. It doesn't try to be a rolling mansion. Instead, it redefines the sleeper cab as a place to live, not just sleep. And once that line was crossed, there was no going back. Because the next builds on this list don't stop at comfort, they push straight into excess. Ranked 8th, Freightliner Argosy XXL Sleeper. This is where sleeper cabs stop feeling like upgraded bedrooms and start feeling like full-time living spaces. The Argosy was already different from the beginning, with its cab-over design and flat floor layout. But when builders decided to stretch it into an XXL sleeper, everything changed. At over 30 feet in total length, this Argosy is nearly twice the size of a standard tractor. The rear-mounted engine is the key move here. By pushing the powertrain to the back, the entire front section is freed up, allowing one massive, uninterrupted living area. Under the rear deck sits a Detroit diesel inline-six, producing around 500 horsepower, paired with an automatic transmission and rear-wheel drive setup that keeps the ride smooth, despite the added size and weight. Step inside and it no longer feels like a truck sleeper at all. The XXL cabin opens into a space that looks more like a studio apartment on wheels. There's a full kitchen, complete with sink, cooktop, microwave, and refrigerator. A proper bathroom follows, featuring a shower and toilet, not just a compact wash station. A large bed, ambient lighting, and warm wood finishes give the interior a calm, residential feel. Outside, the Argosy becomes a rolling piece of art. Custom paintwork and hand-painted murals turn the truck into something deeply personal, reflecting the builder's vision and years of dedication. This wasn't a factory project or a sponsored build. It took years of independent work to bring it to life. This Argosy doesn't just support life on the road, it replaces life off the road entirely. And once a sleeper reaches this level, the line between truck and home is officially gone. Ranked 7th, Scania Longline Sleeper. In Europe, trucks aren't supposed to look like this. Regulations are tighter, roads are narrower, and efficiency usually comes before comfort. That's exactly why the Scania Longline feels so out of place and so unforgettable. Instead of building upward or outward, the Longline does something far more controversial. It stretches the cab forward, extending the front of the truck to create space for a much larger sleeper behind the seats. The result is a silhouette that looks unusually long, almost unbalanced, especially by European standards. Under the cab, the Longline typically runs a Scania inline-six diesel engine with outputs ranging from 450 to over 500 horsepower, depending on configuration. Paired with Scania's automated transmission and a 6x4 drivetrain, it remains fully capable of long-haul duty despite its extended length. But performance isn't the reason people stare at this truck. Step inside and the purpose of that stretched design becomes clear. The sleeper offers significantly more headroom and floor space than a standard European cab. There's room for a full-size bed, additional storage, seating, and amenities rarely seen in EU trucks. The layout feels closer to an American-style sleeper, but compressed into a European footprint, a rare combination. And that's why the Longline became controversial. Some saw it as unnecessary, others saw it as brilliant. It pushed right up against regulatory limits, forcing people to ask whether long-haul drivers deserved more space, even if it meant bending tradition. This truck doesn't shout luxury, it challenges expectations. And once that boundary was crossed, custom builders around the world realized something important. Size alone wasn't the limit anymore. Ranked 6th, Western Star 5700XE Custom Sleeper. This is where sleeper cabs stop being carefully engineered and start being deliberately overbuilt. The Western Star 5700XE was already known as a tough, no-nonsense long-haul truck. But when custom builders got involved, that rugged foundation turned into something far more extreme. Under the hood, most 5700XE builds run a Detroit diesel DD15 or DD16 inline-six, producing between 500 and 600 horsepower, paired with an automated or manual transmission and a 6x4 drivetrain. It's a powertrain designed to handle heavy loads without complaint, and in this case, it needs to. Because the sleeper added behind the cab isn't small by any standard. Step into the custom sleeper, and the scale becomes obvious immediately. This isn't a bunk, it's a fully built living space. The sleeper stretches far beyond factory dimensions. with a high roof that allows drivers to stand upright and move freely. Inside, you'll find a large bed, full-height cabinetry, a refrigerator, microwave, and enough storage to support life on the road for weeks at a time. What sets this build apart is the atmosphere. Wood finishes, soft lighting, and carefully chosen materials give the interior a warm, almost residential feel. It doesn't try to look flashy. It feels solid, purposeful, like a place meant to be lived in, not shown off. Outside, the extended sleeper dramatically changes the truck's profile. The proportions feel heavier, more muscular, and impossible to ignore at highway speed. This is the moment where sleeper cabs stop pretending to be simple upgrades and start becoming permanent homes. And from here on out, the builds only get bigger and far less reasonable. Ranked 5th, International ProStar Condo Conversion. At this point on the list, sleeper cabs are no longer about comfort upgrades. They're about replacement, replacing apartments, leases, and the idea of ever needing to go home. And the International ProStar Condo Conversion is where that shift becomes impossible to ignore. The ProStar was originally designed as an aerodynamic, fuel-efficient workhorse built for efficiency on long interstate runs. But in this custom conversion, that practical foundation becomes the base for something much larger. Under the hood, it typically runs a MaxxForce or Cummins inline-six diesel, producing up to 500 horsepower, paired with an automated transmission and a 6x4 drivetrain built to handle the added mass of the extended sleeper. Step inside and the word sleeper stops making sense. The rear of the truck opens into a full condo-style living space. There's a dedicated sleeping area with a proper bed, not a fold-down bunk. A compact kitchen follows, complete with refrigerator, microwave, sink, and storage cabinets. And unlike earlier builds, this ProStar includes a true bathroom setup with an enclosed shower and toilet. Not just a wash station. The layout is intentional. Separate zones for sleeping, cooking, and relaxing create the feeling of rooms, not corners. The finishes lean toward warm woods, soft lighting, and durable materials chosen for daily use, not show displays. This isn't a truck built for weekends or events. It's built for full-time living. From the outside, the ProStar keeps its clean, aerodynamic look, almost hiding the size of what's behind it. But once you step inside, it's clear. This truck doesn't support life on the road. It replaces life off it entirely. And from here forward, the builds stop pretending to be reasonable. Ranked 4th, Kenworth W900 ARI Legacy Sleeper. This is the point where sleeper cabs stop flirting with luxury and fully commit to it. The Kenworth W900 is already one of the most iconic trucks ever built, known for its long hood, classic lines, and unmistakable presence. But when ARI gets involved, that legend turns into something far bigger. Under the hood, most W900 ARI builds run a Cummins X15 inline-six diesel, producing up to 605 horsepower and over 2,000 pound-feet of torque. Paired with an 18-speed manual or automated transmission and a heavy-duty 6x4 drivetrain, the truck is more than capable of hauling serious loads, even with the massive sleeper attached behind it. Step inside the ARI Legacy Sleeper, and it feels less like a truck and more like a studio apartment. The sleeper stretches far beyond factory dimensions, offering enough headroom to stand comfortably and move freely. Inside, you'll find a full-size bed, a complete kitchen with refrigerator, microwave, sink, and cabinetry, plus a dedicated seating area designed for real downtime, not just rest. Many builds include a full bathroom with an enclosed shower and toilet, turning the sleeper into a self-contained living unit. Soft ambient lighting, premium wood finishes, and carefully insulated walls make the space quiet, warm, and surprisingly residential. This isn't about flash. It's about living well on the road, day after day. From the outside, the W900 ARI Legacy commands attention everywhere it goes. Long hood, polished chrome, stretched proportions. It looks as serious as it feels inside. At this level, the sleeper isn't an upgrade anymore. It's a lifestyle choice. And from here on out, the builds only get bigger and far harder to justify as just trucks. Ranked 3rd, Peterbilt 386 Custom Condo Sleeper. By the time you reach this point on the list, sleeper cabs are no longer subtle, and the Peterbilt 386 makes that clear instantly. Known for its clean, modern design and aerodynamic profile, the 386 was never meant to be extreme. But this custom build takes that reputation and completely rewrites it. Under the hood, most 386 condo builds are powered by a Cummins Sexer X15 inline 6, delivering up to 600 horsepower and massive torque through an 18-speed transmission and a 6x4 drivetrain. It's a setup engineered for real freight and real miles, even with the enormous sleeper riding behind it. Step into the sleeper and disbelief sets in. This isn't a bunk area. It's a full condo-style interior built to support life on the road indefinitely. The sleeper stretches far beyond standard dimensions, with standing headroom, a large permanent bed, extensive cabinetry, and dedicated living space. A full kitchen setup includes refrigerator, microwave, sink, and storage, while a complete bathroom with enclosed shower and toilet removes any remaining sense of compromise. The interior finishes lean heavily toward comfort and warmth. Wood paneling, soft LED lighting, leather seating, and sound insulation create an atmosphere closer to a small apartment than a work vehicle. It's quiet, stable, predictable. The kind of space where long-haul drivers can actually reset, not just rest. From the outside, the stretched sleeper dramatically alters the truck's proportions. People don't just look twice, they stop. Because at this scale, the question changes. It's no longer, how comfortable is the sleeper? It's, why would anyone ever need this much space? And that's exactly where the top two builds go next. Ranked second, Kenworth T680 ARI Presidential. At number 2, sleeper cabs officially stop pretending to be practical. The Kenworth T680 is normally known as a modern aerodynamic efficiency machine, built to save fuel, reduce fatigue, and move freight intelligently. But in its ARI presidential form, efficiency takes a back seat to something else entirely. Under the hood, this build typically runs a Cummins X15 inline 6 diesel, producing up to 605 horsepower and over 2,000 pound-feet of torque. Paired with a 6x4 drivetrain and automated transmission, it's engineered to move serious weight smoothly across long distances. And it needs that strength, because what's attached behind the cab is anything but light. Step inside the ARI presidential sleeper, and the illusion of truck disappears almost instantly. This isn't a sleeper. It's a full-scale luxury living space. The sleeper stretches well beyond factory dimensions, offering standing headroom, multiple living zones, and a layout that feels closer to a high-end RV or hotel suite than a work vehicle. Inside, you'll find a full kitchen with premium appliances, stainless cabinetry, and generous counter space. A separate sleeping area features a large bed and integrated storage, while the bathroom includes an enclosed shower and toilet built for daily use. Reclining seating, large displays, premium audio, and ambient LED lighting complete the experience. Some interior elements are even handcrafted by yacht industry artisans, bringing marine-grade luxury onto the highway. From the outside, the T680 keeps its sleek, modern silhouette, almost hiding the scale of what's behind it. But once you know what's inside, the question becomes unavoidable. At this point, is it still a truck or a rolling executive residence? And somehow the next build still manages to go even further. In first place, Peterbilt 379, studio/apartment sleeper. This is it, the point where sleeper cabs stop being upgrades, stop being condos, and become full apartments on wheels. The Peterbilt 379 is already a legend in American trucking. Long hood, square stance, pure authority on the highway. But this build takes that legacy and pushes it to a place no factory ever intended. Under the hood sits a Cummins X15 inline 6 diesel, producing around 600 horsepower and massive torque, paired with an 18-speed manual transmission and a heavy-duty 6x4 drivetrain. It's a classic mechanical setup built to pull real weight, and it has to, because behind the cab is one of the largest sleeper units ever mounted to a road-going semi. Step inside and calling it a sleeper no longer makes sense. This is a studio apartment. The interior features a full kitchen with stove, microwave, refrigerator, and extensive cabinetry. There's a dedicated living area with seating, entertainment systems, and storage that rivals small apartments. The bedroom is permanent and spacious, separated from the living space. And the bathroom includes a full shower and toilet designed for daily use. Standing room is generous. Movement is unrestricted. The finishes are warm and deliberate. Wood paneling, soft ambient lighting, insulated walls, and residential-grade materials make the space feel stable, quiet, and permanent. This isn't a show build. It's designed for someone who truly lives on the road, not temporarily, but by choice. From the outside, the truck is impossible to ignore. The stretch frame, towering sleeper, chrome accents, and unmistakable 379 profile turn heads everywhere it goes. People don't ask how comfortable it is anymore. They ask one thing: why would anyone ever need this? And the answer is simple. Because for some drivers, the road isn't work, it's home. What you've seen today goes far beyond hauling freight. These sleeper cabs aren't just upgrades or luxury add-ons. They're full homes on wheels, built with an almost unbelievable level of engineering, space, and personal vision. From quiet comfort to full apartments moving at highway speed, each one reflects a simple truth about life on the road. For some drivers, trucking isn't just a job, it's freedom, and home is wherever the highway leads next. Now we want to hear from you. Which sleeper cab impressed you the most? And if you had to live full-time on the road, which one would you choose, and why? Drop your answer in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive into extreme machines, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We've got more legendary, overbuilt, and mind-blowing rigs coming your way.